loving this conversation, but y'all, I know I'm looking at the time and we only have a few minutes left. Are y'all having a good time so far? This is
We are
fun,
having
right?
Yes, this is
good
good.
stuff. Okay, I do want to switch gears. We've talked about business, we've talked about money. I want to wrap the show up by talking about a hot topic. Um, something a little juicier that's outside of what we normally talk about, right? The internet has been going crazy about this particular topic, and the ladies have no idea what I'm about to ask them. I
No
cannot wait to
idea.
hear your opinion.
Oh God.
39-year-old Draya Michele from Basketball Wives, y'all, is
Not Draya.
7 months pregnant by 22-year-old NBA star Jalen Green that plays for the Houston Rockets.
I'm not mad at it.
Okay, that is a 17-year difference, but there's more to the story. Dre has 3 other children. She has a set of twins that are 7 years old by a former Dallas Cowboy player. And her oldest son is 22 years old, which is the exact same age as the father of her soon-to-be child's father. So the baby she's about to have, about Jalen Green, he's 22. The baby daddy is 22, and Drea's son is 22 already. So ever since she made this announcement and confirmed her pregnancy, the internet has been going crazy. I have been dying all week to get on That's What She Said to see what are my girls about to say about Draya, Michele, and Jalen Green.
You know what though? I think men do this all the time, and I have a perfect example of this. Actually, somebody I was dating about the same age gap just had a baby with someone who was a year older than his daughter. And yes, and so I don't know. I see men do it, and I don't think that it would have been like breaking news if it was a man that was doing it. And you know what I'm saying? And the whole thing about people like checking for kids' ages and stuff like that, they don't do that to men because men be having babies at all ages, all scattered across the world. And people don't be checking for them kids. Okay, while y'all checking for her babies, but I think it is hilarious though.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think double standard. Okay.
Double standards, definitely.
I think that all women are different, right? Me in particular, I cannot get intellectually stimulated by a young man. So, if I need to be intellectually stimulated, just
We weren't talking about intellectual stimulation, but go on.
Yeah, right.
I haven't been clear enough. I'm a Virgo, and we need intellectual stimulation. Okay, so that's that. So that is not for me. But in the wise words of the Honorable Sean Carter, you can't knock the hustle. Get it, girl. Do what you got to do.
Oh, what you saying? Okay, go ahead and secure the bag. She secured the bag, huh, Patty?
Dre, we know what you're doing. We know what you're about. I'm not hating on you. When I see your body, it makes me want to do a couple push-ups. Go for it. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. I am not hating.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to have an opinion on what another woman should or shouldn't do with her life. That's her business. What I did see on social media before we got on here, and I had a feeling this is what you were going to bring up today, Lady Jade. I thought I had this feeling, but I saw a post where I guess Jalen had taken a picture with like a fan or somebody, and he was in a gym and he had a shirt off, and you could see her name tattooed on his body, on his like stomach, his lower abdomen or whatever. I'm like, okay, dang, they're really in the thick of this. This was not an accident, right? And I would say with someone like Draya, who's been in the game for a long time, she's been in this game. She's been around it. She's been around these cameras. She's been on reality TV. She's been around athletes. She's been around these men. She doesn't strike me as the type to have a baby by anybody, right? I think that she probably was intentional. And if that is the case, and that's what you wanted, then that's what I want for you. I agree that there is a double standard, but I also think that it's going to be interesting to watch. I think what I want for women is happiness. And if this relationship makes you happy, then I'm happy for you. To Patty's point, I don't know how happy a 22-year-old would make me. But what I will say,
child support check is making her happy. Prada.
I'm talking hello.
I mean, Draya, that could be her motive. Like I said, she's been around for a minute. She's a businesswoman too. She has businesses and companies and things of that nature. So I don't know. But what I can say is, as I'm about to turn 34 tomorrow, and
Happy
I don't.
birthday.
Thank you, thank you. I don't have any kids yet, and so for me, I'm like, okay, this 38-year-old is out here living her life and having babies at 38, and it just is kind of creating a different perspective around age for me, and I think that's more my insight on that. But
Well,
yeah,
I have to share a comment. So there was a picture of Amber Rose. That's Amber Rose's. She was with Kanye. Do I have her name right? Amber Rose.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Amber Rose was pictured with another young man, similar type of situation recently, and someone commented and said, "With these Hall of Famers still in the game, these young ladies don't have a chance." You know, and I'm not. It has to be a Hall of Famer. So Hall of Famers in the game are making it hard for the youngsters, for the rookies to get in there and get a jersey. And you know, I can't knock the hustle. So do what you got to do.
because Amber Rose's ex-boyfriend is dating Cher, and he's in his 20s or 30s, and she's like 70 something, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes. Have you seen Cher?
Sure.
yeah,
I saw
Cher.
her live. She performed live in Vegas. This was a few years ago now. But I said, there is no way that woman's age starts with a 7. She's giving 40 something in every sense of she
Go
looks
ahead,
amazing. Her
Cher.
body is amazing. She
Let me see
sounds
what Cher looking
amazing.
like.
Yeah,
Cher is
Cher's definitely
giving.
living her best life for sure. Now, I kind of agree with you, ladies. I have a 22-year-old godson, and when I see that, all I can think to myself is like, if my 22-year-old godson came home with somebody that was almost 40, considering the fact, this is how I look at it. I agree with everything you guys have said. I want people to be happy. What I choose is not what somebody else would choose. There are a lot of double standards. I also take into consideration that Jalen just graduated from high school like 3 years ago. So that's also like mind boggling to me. Like, what are we talking about?
When you say it like that.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm just like, he is a grown man. It's not so much the age gap for me, right? Because I know people that have been married for 40, 50 years and they had a 17-year difference. I think that now in today's society, when you're in your 20s is a completely different mindset than when you get in your 30s and you start establishing your career and you start wanting to be a little bit more settled. And of course, to your point, again, to each his own. A lot of people feel like, look, he was 22 years old and he was easy prey. In other words, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, what young boy does not have a fantasy for like, oh, I can get me an older woman. You know what I mean? I'm new. I'm fresh in the league. And Draya is absolutely one of the baddest in the games physically, like stunning woman. What upset me even more about this topic is to see all of these male celebrities now come out and act like females and now want to tell their experiences with Draya. And it's like, that's giving like high school for sure. Like, we don't kiss and tell. Right. We're all super grown. And now you want to reminisce on an experience you had with her 10, 12 years ago. At the end of the day, regardless of what people think, that's still somebody's mom. I don't agree with that aspect of it or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This has been an interesting topic that has not going away. And I don't think it's going to go away because she's going to have the baby in 2 months. So we're going to have to talk about it again. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I can't believe she kept it under wraps this long.
Yeah, you
be honest.
Anybody, Jade. I feel like the media just needs something to talk about. Like for me,
sure,
very uninteresting. You know, from my perspective, it's extremely uninteresting. I didn't even know people were talking about her outside of that, other than a couple of the feeds, or I saw a little funny posts here and there. But it's uninteresting to me, and I feel like the media just has to have this sort of gossip to think about, and hopefully through elevated shows like this and elevated conversations, we can laugh about it, we can talk about it, we can address. There is something to learn about that, right? If you have a young son who might be an athlete, or even if he's not a pro player, these women might think he might be, and they're plotting, right? So this is something to be aware of, and it does help to create some awareness and create real conversations at home with our young children. But for me, overall, the topic is just uninteresting, and I want to be attracted to different things, when I'm scrolling through the media.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So in other words, we're shutting this hot topic down.